Hey everybody, Sister Fantastic here. Welcome to today's video. It's a get ready with me, and I want to use this palette here, Bad Romance from Lorella. And it's got some really pretty berry tones and purples and a couple of like bluish grays, and then there's a black. Anyway, blues and silvers, really pretty palette. And I'm thinking along the lines of a strawberry look, but I don't know if I can create that with this palette. But anyway, I kind of want to lean towards those blues and those grays, but I'm going to save those for another day. So these are cute as far as shade names are concerned. I think this was a Valentine's theme type palette, but I want to use it today. So I'm going to go in with one of these red shades. I want to do this one called Squeeze Me right there. And this is the time of the year where the strawberries come into season here where I live. And so, you know, we've got berry toned colors in this palette, and I thought it would be perfect for a berry toned look. So that's what I've got on my mind today. And the palette does not have a mirror in it. So that's okay. I'm just going to dabble and see what happens. And I can use the viewfinder on my iPad here. And then I can always pick up a mirror if I need to do something close up. So anyway, I'm just trying to get started here in the crease area with a wash of color and just give, you know, this a little bit of a berry oomph to start with. Gotta get a little oomph in our berry colored eye look. That's pretty. So anyway, this brush here is a MOTD brush. It's kind of fluffy and loose, so it's easy to distribute the product with a brush like that. Okay, now let me go into this Melange brush here, and let me go in with this color here called ILY, which stands for I Love You. It's a really bright red. And again, this is a fluffy brush, so I'm just lightly, you know, applying and blending, blending, blending. Because I don't really want this to be a dark look. Even though you could go there very easily with this palette. You can make a purple smoky eye with this palette. You can do those lighter wintertime muted, you know, bluish gray type looks. And then, but I'm going to stick today to these berry toned colors. And I got strawberries on my mind. I like a red eye look. I never thought it would be a color that I would gravitate towards, you know, but a few years ago I was looking for a palette on the Shop Miss A website, and they didn't have the palette that I wanted, the shade that I wanted, the, you know, it was a color story, particular color story. And anyway, but they had a red one. And so I thought, well, I'll just check it out. Okay, now strawberries have that green cap, but there's no green in this palette, so I'm gonna skip that. But there are like little black seeds on the strawberries, so I'm gonna head into that black here in a minute for an eyeliner. But for right now, I'm gonna go into this shade here called Can't Compare. I don't know if I need to do that or not. No, let me just stick with the black. I don't want to go in. I like that purple. That purple's calling my name, but I will ruin the strawberry look if I do that. So let me pick up a little mirror here and we'll see. I'm going to go underneath the lash line. And I'm going to stamp this on. Not sure how pigmented it is. Probably pretty pigmented. Lurella is really good about pigment in their palettes. And I'm going to do a little inverted wing here and see if I can't continue on with the idea that I had with the strawberry thing. So like the outer third of the lid, I'm just hugging the lash line and trying to get that line just on the outer third, and then I'm going to carry what's left on the brush out here into this outer corner and just give it a little bit of a wing. Not too much, but a little bit. And I can always add to that if I don't feel like it's enough. So if a palette doesn't have a mirror, you have to go back and forth between the palette that you're working with and a mirror. So all the way across on the lower lash line. And I'm not worried about that getting in the way of my concealer or anything like that, because I usually don't put concealer all the way up to the waterline. Usually the concealer's like right there. And then I blend it out. But that does define the eyes pretty good. So like a little faux eyeliner thing going here. And I can always go over that again if I need to. Okay, so there's that. Let me keep this brush handy because I may go over that eyeliner. And let's see, I got to choose a shimmer. Let's see, there's this pretty red. It's kind of a pinky red. That could represent the flesh on the inside of the strawberry. And here's that red that I used in the crease, which I really don't want to use that again, not on the lid. So there's those two. That pinky red is kind of pretty. I really want something lighter than that. Let's see what else we have in the palette. We have this one here called PDA, which means Public Display of Affection. And it's kind of like an icy purple. And then we have this grayish toned one, which is kind of a white color. So let's swatch those. I think I'm going to go with that pinky purple icy look. I think that's pretty. PDA, that's the name of it. And let's get that right here on the lid. That reminds me of a strawberry. I mean, I could have went in with little strawberry dots with the black on my eye and really decorated it up, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just using the strawberry as the theme, as the inspiration for today's look. Because we all need some inspiration. You know, a picture or a theme or a color story, or, you know. Let me go in again. Okay, and then I may add some more to that with a highlighter. Let me get a makeup wipe here. I gotta get this off my fingers before I can go on. I want to put on some other things with you guys today. So anyway, that's kind of cute. By the time I get, you know, my brows done and mascara and everything. All right, now let's do a little bit of primer. I'm going to go in with this one from Ace Beauty. I've been testing this out. It's called Layer Grip Primer. It's a smooth and blur with jojoba and vitamin E. And it doesn't feel like a typical gripping primer. It feels like a silicone, you know, one of those primers that, see, it's clear right there on my finger. It's got a nice little slip to it, so it fills the pores and, you know, blurs the skin. And I really like that, especially for the summertime. Because you can use a skin tint over it, or some kind of a little BB cream or something, and, you know, you're good to go. So I have lines that are forming out here in this dry area of my face, and I really do like a blurring primer for that area as well. And then, of course, the forehead. And I'm just using little dots and just applying it in sections. Sweet Pea's right behind me. I think she's sleeping in a chair. Well, she heard her name just now, so she came running. What are you doing? She likes to stay close. Wherever I'm at, she likes to be close. Okay, so see, it doesn't take much of that at all. And this is a new product by Ace Beauty. They are in the midst of a rebrand. So that's nice. Okay. Now let me use a foundation that I've really been enjoying here lately. It's from Wander Beauty. Let me pull it out. And this is called the Nude Illusion Liquid Foundation in the shade Light. And I keep reaching for this. All it takes is the one pump. And then you can grab a brush and just, you know, dab the brush into, you know, the foundation, and then just go right in. It's a pretty good color for me. Not quite as neutral as I like, but hey, a little bit of golden foundation really helps with the under eye circles, that's for sure, because yellow cancels out. Purple and red. So if you have like any blemishes, like I've got one right there on my chin, it helps, you know, get rid of that too. And any redness that you might have on your cheeks or your nose. I feel like I need like another half pump. We've got the forehead to go still. Let me tuck that back down in there. And I like this foundation. It dries down really nice, and if you can skip the powder if you want to, but look at that smooth finish. It's just beautiful. All right, let me get this area down here. I didn't feel like I had enough for this side. And it dries quick too, so you don't have to keep working at it. Just beautiful. Everything I've ever tried from Wonder Beauty's just been really nice. And I believe this was sent to me in a BoxyCharm. And because, you know, the profile that I do for BoxyCharm, you know, for my account is already set up, they can choose, you know, the shade for me and all of that. Okay, now a little concealer. Let me find a good concealer here. I've got several to choose from. And let's see. Let's try this one from Yoma Beauty. It's been a while since I've done this on camera. This is in the shade 72. It's called White Pearl. Here's which it's not especially brightening, but it matches my skin tone pretty good. Let me hit that blemish. And then I've got a scar underneath here. I like to use concealer on. Okay, and then I'm gonna use that same brush. It's kind of a big brush for blending out concealer, but hey, we're gonna make it work. Okay, and then with what's left, I'm just going to put it on my nose, because that'll help keep the foundation from breaking up in these oily areas. Okay, now just a little powder. I'm going to go on with my favorite. This is the by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. Absolutely love this stuff. I've still got about at least a third to a half left. And I've discovered that if you use a brush, a loose brush, that you don't need near as much powder. And you can just put a thin layer of concealer down and a thin layer of powder down. And just apply those things in the T-zone area. And if you're mature skin like me, that's enough. It'll keep your makeup set and keep it from, your foundation from breaking up. And it'll also keep your skin from looking, cakey. And keep all those products from settling into your fine lines and wrinkles. So, there you go. I did not use very much powder at all. I love this powder so much. It blurs really, really well. And it brightens too. So that's cool. Okay, let's do my brows. Y'all, the Brow Gal, my order evidently has been detained because of the bad weather. In fact, it's raining again today here. And so anyway, I ordered it, I think, around the 15th of March. And here it is, almost the middle of April. And it's awaiting USPS to pick up the package. So until it gets here, I'm going to keep using this stub of a pencil. The eyeshadow primer that I'm using today, of course, is my favorite, the Beauty Crop Stuck On You. I applied it with a brush. I've been doing that the last couple of times I've done my makeup. And it seems to apply more evenly when I use a brush. So I got a new brush from Koki Cosmetics, and I'm just happy to use it for this particular purpose. But the brush, look, the brush is shot, y'all. I just can't use that brush anymore. But the pencil, there's still a little nub there, so I just keep going with it. And only sharpening it when I have to. Just to keep it lasting. Okay, so nothing too precise today. They're definitely going to be sisters. They're not twins. But my face is, I don't know about you all, but my face is not identical. My eyebrows are not identical. The way they grow. So, I mean, of course, you try to make things match on both sides as much as possible. But there are differences. See, that one automatically is darker. Let me brush through it and get that to lighten up a little bit. I like the spoolie. You know, before I ever even knew about spoolies and, eyebrow products like this that had a spoolie on one end, I used to use like an old mascara brush. because I like the brush. I think it worked really well at distributed product. All right, let me thicken this one up just a little bit. It seemed like it was kind of on the thin side. That's better. All right, let's see if I can't. This line over here looked kind of crooked. Okay. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, now I want to set these brows down today, and let me show y'all. This Trace Loose Beauty Hello Brows is a gel, and this was gifted to me by Ipsy. It is the best brow gel. I love it. And I've used the tinted ones, like from Benefit, the ones that have little microfiber type hairs. But look at this. You can comb your brows up with this. You know, and get them all coated. If you need to trim, you can trim them if they're too long, you know, in areas. And then you can just go back over it and get your brows to lay down. And let them all be going, you know, in the same direction. But you can use this like to probably laminate your brows if that's the look you like. But anyway, this is going to stay all day. And it's amazing. So that color story is not bad, is it? Okay, let me wipe those swatches off my hand. And we're going to do some bronzer. And I'm going in with my favorite, the LYS. It's called Motivate in the shade Light. And I'm using my favorite brush from Bella Pierre. It's an angled blush brush, but I really like it for bronzer. And I could have put on a bronzing oil or lotion or a serum. I've got several bronzing products. I could have used something, a bronzing primer even, to make my skin look a little bit more brown and not so white. But I'm not really worried about looking tan today. My main thing today was to get that strawberry look for spring and also cover up those dark circles and these blemishes. So I needed the foundation that has really good coverage. And that Wonder Beauty it's really nice. Okay, I'm not being fussy today. All right, we need some blush. Mama needs some blush. Always need blush. That's one thing I hardly ever skip on is blush. I don't like skipping blush. Let's see. Let me grab a blush brush. I like this one from e.l.f. This is one of the first brushes that I ever purchased from e.l.f. And I got this at the Dollar Tree, y'all, for $1. That was back when the Dollar Tree was $1. All right, let me find one that's going to mimic this strawberry look here. Look at this. That's really pretty. But I've been wearing that quite a bit lately, so I think I'm going to skip that one today. Let's try this one, maybe from Juvia's place. That looks kind of like a strawberry in a way. I'm going to put this on my hand, though. Just a couple of dots. And it's very pigmented. Oh my gosh. And I'm just going to apply it very carefully. Look at that. That was like a half of a dot on the brush. And I'm diffusing away here. Okay, let me just take a little bit more for this side. That is a pretty color. This is called Soft Tulip. How appropriate for spring, huh? Okay, I'm just going to take what's left onto the temples and the tip of my chin here. And look at all that that's still on my hand. Let me just apply a little bit more on this side. We got blush today. Okay, that's good. I don't want to overdo it because then it looks, you know, fake. Not fake, but like a clown. What is this here? I found another product from Juvia's place, and I don't know what it is. I think it's a blush as well. It's called Shakira. It's like a small sample. Yeah, I think this is a blush as well. It's right there. They're close in color. Okay. Let me wipe this stuff off my hand. I really don't want a peachy lip today. I want to go more with the strawberry look. But I am going to use a peachy highlighter. I've got this one called Diamond Glow from Italia. Look at that. It's like a, how can I explain it? It's like a peachy gold. That's the way to explain it. And look at that pop. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So this is so pretty. I have to use a little bit under the brow bone, or as an inner corner highlight or something. I gotta add more of this color. Let's try it right here. Let's go underneath the tear duct for just a little bit more of a pop. Now, should I put some on the brow bone? Maybe just a little. We do like that lift and that shine up here, don't we? Okay, that's fun. I really like this highlighter. I keep reaching for it and reaching for it. The packaging, the way that it's packaged in that plastic container with the plastic lid makes you think that it's going to be a cheap quality, but it's really not. Anyway, it's Princess Cut is the shade name. And the writing is so small. I don't know where you can find this at. I'd have to get like a magnifying glass to see all that fine print. But anyway, that was my BH Cosmetics brush that I was using. Okay, let me go off camera and I'm going to do lashes and mascara and everything. And I'll be back and we'll do lips. Okay, y'all, I'm back and I put on a little pair of lashes. These came from Koki Cosmetics. I did use a liquid liner on top of that eyeshadow because I just felt like I needed more, I don't know, just more. Anyway, I'm ready to do lips now, and I'm going to go in with this lip liner here from the Beauty Vault. This is a really pretty color. It's like a peachy, it's a pinky peach. That's the only way I really know how to describe it. Anyway, these are really super creamy and easy to use. I'm going to line my lips in an effort to make them look fuller. And then I've got this liquid lipstick. It's called the Ultra Blotted Lip. This is from ColourPop. Let me put this away before I lose it. Anyway, I've used this before on my channel. It's kind of a mauve kind of color. Really super pretty. Very comfortable on the lips. I like these demi-matte type formulas. But they do dry down if you don't put any lip gloss on them, which I'm not going to today. But anyway, these lashes really don't look right to me today, but you'll have to let me know what you think. I feel like this one here is kind of wonky. But anyway, I did the best that I could, and here is the finished look. Super fun, easy. And next time I use this palette, I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. Maybe with the blues. Those three blues, that whole top rows, those four together. Maybe add in this lavender. I don't know. Maybe do something with the purples. I got to add in one of these smoky gray colors. Anyway, I want to use, some of those colors right there for a different type of look. And we may even go more bold next time. We'll see. But anyway, this is not bad. All right, let me spray it down. And this would be good for strawberry season. Okay, fan this down. Hope y'all enjoyed the video today. nice and calming and relaxing. I felt really relaxed while I was filming. Hope you all feel that too as I share, you know. Try to create an atmosphere of being relaxed. And that way you can sit and, you know, do needlework or whatever you enjoy doing while you're watching. Okay, y'all, that is it for today. That's my get ready with me. Pretty much from A to Z. The only thing I didn't really show you on camera was the finishing of the eyes with the mascara. But the mascara that I'm trying out today is called Watch Me. And what's up? Watch Me. A little sample. I think I got this in an Ipsy bag. Anyway, I've just been trying some new mascaras here lately, and that's one of them. Alright, give me a thumbs up. Let me hear from you down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed already, I'd like to invite you to do so. And hit that bell. Alright, I love y'all. We appreciate the support. We say thank you very much. Alright, y'all. God bless you today is my prayer. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.